Congressman Vindman completely destroys Pete Hegseth when it comes to national security. He's going straight for the biggest bombshell.
Mr. Secretary, many believed you were underqualified for this role. You've been secretary for 4.5 months now. For the sake of the American people and our service members, I hope you've done your homework since. Let's talk Indo-PACOM.
In a tense showdown that cut across party lines, he pressed the Secretary of Defense and military leaders on everything from how prepared our forces really are to the risks in warfare. His questions weren't just about policy, they were about honesty.
What year has the Navy publicly set as the benchmark for being ready to fight a war with China?
Well, it needs to be right now. We know what China has said.
I'm glad to hear that, but there is a publicly set date.
Well, we know it wouldn't be prudent for me in this environment to reveal when we think we're ready. That's what China has said, and we understand what they're saying.
I asked
and we want
for
to be
a year,
capable and ready for it.
Not a filibuster. 2027 is the...
When asked all these questions, Pete couldn't get a single one right. You can see it yourself. The drama only escalated as Eugene fired off rapid questions.
Confirmed that there was, in fact, a pause in offensive cyber operations earlier this year. The SecDef just denied this. This committee deserves to know whether the Secretary just lied.
Vindman went as far as suggesting that the Secretary may have misled Congress about putting offensive cyber operations on hold. If that accusation sticks, it's more than political drama. It's a massive breach of trust. But what happened next changed everything.
Let me turn to a different topic. A few weeks ago, when my office opened up in Fredericksburg, I spoke to the mother of one F-18 pilot who flew the March 15th mission over the Red Sea in Yemen that you discussed over Signal. I spoke to her again on Tuesday and asked her if there was anything she wanted me to bring up. She believes that you need to resign.
The U.S. Navy marking 2027 as the year it'll be ready for a possible war with China should have everyone in Washington on edge. That's not a strategy. It's basically putting a countdown clock on a geopolitical powder keg. And the Pentagon treating it like a corporate goal-setting exercise only makes it sound worse. But if you thought that was intense, wait till you see the next part. It only gets wilder from here.
According to unclassified DoD assessments, how many warships does China have in its Navy today?
Many and growing.
370. It's the largest Navy in the world. How many does the U.S. Navy have today?
Thanks to this budget, it's increasing
it's a number. I'm looking for a
substantially,
number.
but it's just south of 300.
296, pretty close. How many ships is China expected to field by 2030?
I believe that's a classified number, but it's going to go up
DoD
at a rapid
CMPR
rate.
report that was released. There's an unclassified number.
It's going up at a rapid rate.
Let me help you out. 435.
Congressman Vindman didn't just trip up Pete Hegseth with a geography question. He pulled back the curtain on something bigger, the gap between TV pundit chatter and actual military strategy. His focus? The Suwalki Gap, a narrow but crucial strip between Poland and Lithuania that could become the front line in any NATO-Russia showdown. But the events that followed would shock everyone and alter everything.
Let's see if we do better in EUCOM. What corridor in eastern Poland is vulnerable and a priority for U.S. reinforcements? It connects Belarus to a Russian region.
I'm sure you can tell me.
I can tell you. It's the Suwalki Gap.
What Vindman showed was the kind of tactical awareness that should be shaping U.S. defense policy, not sound bites on cable news. And if you think this is just about maps or trivia, think again. The battlefield in Ukraine is already showing us how fast modern warfare is changing. Over 70% of frontline casualties now come from first-person view drones, a chilling sign of how lethal and advanced the fight has become. But so far, you've only seen the first layer.
Which heavily militarized Russian territory connected the Suwalki Gap? It contains nuclear-capable missiles. It threatens all of NATO. It's right there in the middle of Eastern Europe.
I see we're playing a quiz game here.
It's
ultimately,
Kaliningrad
thankfully,
Oblast.
we're getting our NATO allies to step up in their spending to make sure that they can hold the
Mr.
line.
Secretary, I asked you a specific question. Thank you. It's Kaliningrad Oblast.
Vindman's point hit hard. You can't counter drone swarms or secure NATO's borders with talking points. You need real strategy, real facts, and a clear-eyed view of both the terrain and the politics at play. However, we have barely cracked the lid open because the kicker is yet to come.
So, what percentage of Ukrainian frontline casualties, let's talk drones, are now caused by FPV drones?
A very large percentage, and we're studying that conflict closely to understand
I hope so.
that fact.
It's over 70%.
At the end of the day, this isn't about winning debates. It's about whether America is truly prepared for the wars of today, not just the wars of the past. But what unfolded afterward changed everything we thought we knew.
And which U.S. service has written doctrine or standardized procurement for integration of FPV drones?
That's the Army.
I wish that were the case, but actually the answer is none of them. So we're not prepared yet, and we need to get there fast.
When the mother of an F-18 pilot demands a congressman step down, it's not just raw emotion, it's a direct blow to public trust. Congressman Vindman isn't just facing critics across the aisle, he's now in the crosshairs of military families who believe his actions may have put American lives at risk. If you think that was shocking, the next part will leave you speechless.
Let me turn to a different topic. A few weeks ago, when my office opened up in Fredericksburg, I spoke to the mother of one F-18 pilot who flew the March 15th mission over the Red Sea in Yemen that you discussed over Signal. I spoke to her again on Tuesday and asked her if there was anything she wanted me to bring up. She believes that you need to resign.
The charge, that he may have shared classified information, is an accusation that, if true, isn't about partisan mudslinging. It cuts straight to the heart of duty, service, and protection.
She also had several questions, but one thing, she said she would appreciate an apology for putting classified information. Her son couldn't even tell her where the Truman was going.
Calls for an apology aren't simply about repairing his image. They're about accountability, something too many in Washington treat like an optional extra. If Vindman wants to put generals on the hot seat and press military leaders about national security, then he himself should be held to that same high standard, if not higher. But that's not all, because the worst for Pete Hegseth is still to come.
But into the Houthi PC small group Signal chat that risked her son's life and the mission. Mr. Secretary, yes or no, do you think you owe her an apology?
Please make sure to let her know how grateful we are for the skill and heroism of her.
I am very much grateful. I'm sure everybody in this room is grateful. I'm proud of what her son has done.
Congressman Vindman didn't just challenge Pete Hegseth, he straight up asked him to resign. And this wasn't just for show, it hit hard. By calling out the risks to a service member's life and a mission, Vindman made it clear he sees a real problem with leadership at the top. For him, this isn't about politics or scoring points. If mistakes put people in danger, then stepping down isn't optional. It's the right thing to do.
The question is, do you owe her an apology for your actions? Are you going to be accountable?
It was an incredibly successful mission. Her son did great work.
They did a magnificent job.
Thankfully, the Houthi campaign was successful.
Secretary, I agree with you. Magnificent job. The performance of those pilots and Navy personnel, magnificent. We're talking about what you did and accountability. Are you going to apologize to the mother or not?
I don't apologize for success.
You don't apologize for putting her son's life in danger.
Think about it. If a mother believes her son's life was recklessly put at risk and the Secretary of Defense can't even bring himself to apologize, this isn't about red tape or bureaucratic delays. It's about a collapse of moral responsibility.
Well, that's really disappointing and not befitting the type of leadership that our troops and families deserve. It's frankly a stunning lack of OPSEC. Privates are trained to do much better than that. It was reckless. And it sounds like that accountability doesn't extend as far as the Secretary of Defense. So I think you should resign. The mother says she wants you gone. And with that, I yield back.
Vindman's fiery confrontation exposed the deeper problem of leaders hiding behind titles and press statements instead of owning up to the weight of their decisions. Wearing the uniform of command isn't just about authority, it's about carrying responsibility. And when those at the top fail, someone has to say it out loud. Vindman just did. Now here's the real question. Will anyone else in Washington have the guts to stand with him? Or will the halls of power just let this moment fade into background noise? What's your take? Drop it in the comments. We want to hear from you.